Hey guys, how are you? It's Zach from Zach Loves Books. It's good to see that you tuned in again. It's been a while. It's maybe been a week and a half that I haven't posted anything. Life's gotten in the way, but I was tweaking a few things on my channel. I was tweaking some thumbnails, some titles, just playing around with keywords, seeing if I could attract some viewers, like-minded individuals, who are book lovers, maybe new to books, who probably like the kind of books that I'm going to cover. Also, I reached out to one of my inspirations for doing this booktube, Bookish Dad Reads. Shout out to him, Tyrone. Who I said to him, I sent him a message on Instagram or one of those messages in socials, and I said to him, "Hey, you're an inspiration. I like your book vlogging style, your booktube, whatever you call it." And I said to him, "It's very conversational." So he's kind of an inspiration for me. That's the kind of I'm doing the same kind of content as him in a sense, but very conversational, not really scripted. So shout out to Tyrone. Bookish Dad Reads. Thanks for getting back to me. Most people don't get back to you, but it's nice when it's like a small community like this. I don't know how many male booktubers there are, but I don't like to assume, but there may be way more female booktubers than men. But it's good that that we're pushing the love of reading and maybe more men to read. Anyway, so let's get on with it. So what I'm gonna do today is I noticed that other booktubers do like TBRs, so which stands for to be read. So I have a pile of to be read books for April that hopefully my intention is to get through, by the end of this month. I don't know if I'll, be able to get. This is very overreaching, ambitious for me to finish 8 books in 1 month. The good thing is that some of them I've started already, one or two I'm halfway through. Some I've started a chapter or two. Some of them are short, so we'll see how it goes. I'm excited about the book, so that should get me to read at a quicker pace, and I think being excited will get me through it. So let's start. Let's start. So the first book I want to cover is "The Cabin at the End of the World" by Paul Tremblay. I picked this up at a used bookstore. What attracted me to it was when I read the back about it. It's about a little girl, who's with her adopted fathers, two fathers at a cabin. She's adopted, and she's playing out front when this big menacing figure of a man comes up to her, and says, "Hey, I'm here to see your dads. They're not going to want to let me in, but they have to." And you know they're not going to like what I asked them to do, but if they don't, the world's going to end. And so that's what grabbed my attention there. So something bad's going to happen. And and so I've been reading it, and it's one of those books where it takes place over maybe a day or two. um, but you just can't put it down because you want to find out what's going to happen. But for you to make some kind of choice or cooperate with these people, otherwise the world's gonna end. Kind of creepy. Anyway, so that's my first pick. My second pick is a book called The Manchineel. It's by John Ballum. I think he's a Canadian author. He's on the back there. He's in black and white. It might be a bit of an older book, but it's set in the Caribbean. I think Manchineel is like a fictitious island. I don't think it exists. But if you know anything about me, I love anything set in the Caribbean. Caribbean stories, Caribbean coffee table books, Caribbean rum. I like Korean fiction, nonfiction, and what I'm also finding is this underlying theme of books that I picked out. All kind of have a. Even though I said I was gonna do something in one of my last posts, I was gonna pick something maybe rosy, something happy go lucky, some kind of happy go lucky fiction with a happy ending. picking books kind of with a dark theme. This one has like overtones of voodoo, set in a Caribbean setting with palm, palm trees and beaches. So, just up my alley. The main character flies a plane into this island. He's met by the superintendent. Body washes on shore, and there's voodoo involved. So let's see what happens. My third pick is The Lifeboat by Charlotte Rogan. And I started this book a couple years, maybe a year or two back. Uh, I've read a chapter, and kind of like a Titanic type of book. There's ship disaster, cruise liner disaster. I guess maybe similar era as the Titanic. The main character is in a boat that's a lifeboat that has way too many people in it, you know, and so there's gonna be some death involved. And despite the way it starts out, it's very gloomy. She in the beginning, she's on trial, and I guess she's with her lawyers, and they're about to go to court, and I guess they're gonna maybe find out what happened. Maybe like they're accusing her of murder, manslaughter. I don't know if she's the last survivor or not, but maybe even they're gonna see if she's insane or not. But that's kind of how it opens, and then she starts talking about what happened after the ship sunk and the ordeal of these survivors, and from her point of view. So we'll see how it goes. Um, Turn of the Screw, Henry James. I was given this suggestion by a friend of mine that I had dinner with a couple weeks back, and because I told him about This House is Haunted by John Boyne. He said, and this house house is haunted by John Boyne. It's about a governess with two kids at a house, but there's no adults. There's some eerie happenings, and this kind of has parallels. This is also about two kids who are taken in by their uncle, I guess, after their parents pass or something. And there's a haunted house. There's haunted happenings going on here, and the past governess is maybe haunting this house, and wants to take the children or something, or like, and bad things happen. Just up my alley. We'll see. The Golden Rat by Don Wolfson. Not wolf like a rough wolf like dog, but Wullfson. And it's an uncorrected proof I picked up at a book sale a couple of years back. And very cool cover. It's kind of like set in like you know ancient China. You see a father with a son, and a guy like looks like he's about to chop something. I'm assuming based on the back, chop off somebody's head, because the premise of this book is that the son is with his father and with his stepmother when an intruder breaks in, kills the stepmother, and then the blame is put upon the son because he seems like the most likely suspect. But his father is rich, and so he arranges an innocent man to be killed in his son's place. But then, I guess in the story, the son takes it upon himself to find out who the real murderer is. So, good stuff. It's a YA book. It says ages 11 and up, so I'm assuming that like it won't be too gruesome. Um, yeah, big text, wide margins. Um, it'll be a fast read, but we'll see how that goes. Ah, The Quickening by Julie Meyerson, another Caribbean mystery, uh, haunted realms, haunted beaches, whatever, set in a haunted setting. Yeah, so once again, resort, beaches, palm trees. It's about a couple who are on their honeymoon. They go to paradise, and she's pregnant. And as soon as she hops in the cab with her husband, she starts getting the heebie-jeebies right away. because the cab driver says, says something about recognizing her husband, you know. Ooh, so we'll see what happens. Like I said, all the elements that I like, the Caribbean, you know, beach setting, Caribbean island, Antigua, I believe. Maybe there's some voodoo in this one as well. But another haunted storybook. This is a YA book, The Last Execution by Jasper Wang Sung. It's not an Asian book. It's a author from Denmark. And it's a YA book. The author won a prize for children and young adult books. And this one basically revolves around uh, an execution, not a modern day execution, but a medieval execution. Uh, Judging from the back, you know, it's a story about everything leading up to the execution and the excitement in the medieval square wherever it takes place. The gallows, the the shopkeepers that come out, the artisans that come out, the entertainers, the baker, the master carpenter, the priest, the boy. It's a 15-year-old boy, I think, that's on trial here to be executed, and it's about whether he's guilty, innocent. It probably takes place over one day. Another dark themed read. Yeah, so getting to the last one. This is the last one that we have. This one I'm really excited about. This is called A Good and Happy Child by Justin Evans. I found this in a little library. Look at the cover; it's amazing. It's got that texture on it. It's got those kind of hellish colors, red and orange. This demon on the front. This you should be able to find in the bookstore. When I read the synopsis, it's about a guy who he's on his way to see a psychiatrist because he can't hold his child, so that's abnormal, and he that's how it opens up. And I guess this psychiatrist, makes him reach back to his past when he was a kid, and then we find out that, you know, based on what I'm reading here, is that he may have been possessed as a kid. So there's some overtones of like The Exorcist here, maybe more modern day, or um, I don't know what it is about this book. It kind of freaks me out. Just reading what other the blurbs in the front where people are saying, what they thought about the book. They're saying like, don't read this one, in the dark, which makes me want to read it in the dark. I'm actually scared to read this one, but excited at the same time. There's something exciting about being scared. So, um, yeah, I'm looking forward to reading this one. I'm about one chapter in, but look, even the demons on the inside. A Good and Happy Child by Justin Evans. So yeah, that's what I have. Those are my April TBRs, to be reads. I have about 8. Like I said, this is the most ambitious amount of books, maybe even up to date, that I've ever read or are gonna attempt to read in 1 month. We'll see how many I get through, and then I'll check back with you. So that's it for now, guys. We'll see you in the next one.